Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." It's a profound statement, one that holds the key to understanding wealth in its truest sense. Because wealth isn't just about numbers. It's not just about accumulating more, controlling more, or even having more. It's about being more. And yet, most of us have been conditioned to see wealth as something external, something we have to chase, something we have to work endlessly for, as if it exists outside of us, just beyond our reach. But what if we've been looking in the wrong direction all along? You see, wealth is a language. It has its own rhythm, its own energy, its own way of moving through the world. Some people seem to speak it fluently, while others struggle to even form a sentence. But here's the thing. This language isn't something only a chosen few are born with. It's something you can learn. And just like any language, once you understand its grammar, its structure, its unspoken rules, you start to think in it. You start to speak it naturally. You start to live it effortlessly. Think about the wealthiest individuals in history, the visionaries, the creators, the leaders who reshaped entire industries. Were they just lucky? Or did they understand something the rest of the world didn't? Because if wealth were just about working hard, then every laborer working long hours would be rich. If it were just about intelligence, then every scholar would be a billionaire. Clearly, there's something deeper at play here. This journey isn't just about financial success. It's about shifting your entire perspective on wealth, success, and abundance. Because wealth isn't just a material reality. It's a mental, emotional, and spiritual state. Every civilization, every ancient philosophy, every great spiritual teaching has, in some way, touched upon the principles of prosperity. The Tao Te Ching speaks of flowing with the natural order of things. The Quran emphasizes sustenance as something divinely allocated, yet also encourages wisdom and effort. The Bhagavad Gita teaches detachment, not from success itself, but from the fear of loss, the anxiety of not having enough. Across history, there has been an undeniable truth. Wealth is not just about what you possess. It's about how you align yourself with the forces that create prosperity. Some of these forces are practical, strategy, habits, decision-making. Others are psychological, your beliefs, your fears, your subconscious programming. And some are metaphysical, the vibrational frequencies you hold, the way your energy interacts with the world around you. This is where the real transformation begins. Because once you stop seeing wealth as a thing out there and start seeing it as a language, a mindset, an energy, something remarkable happens. You stop chasing and you start attracting. You stop seeing obstacles and you start seeing opportunities. You stop thinking in terms of scarcity and you begin to experience abundance. This journey is about more than money. It's about freedom. Not just financial freedom, but freedom from the limiting beliefs that have held you back. Freedom from the old narratives that told you wealth was only for a select few. Freedom from the fears that made you play small, settle for less, and shrink away from your highest potential. This is your invitation to relearn the language of wealth, to see it not as something separate from you, but as something already within you. Because the truth is, you were never meant to struggle. You were never meant to live in financial fear. You were meant to flourish. You were meant to thrive. And as we move forward, we're going to unlock the ancient and modern secrets that will help you do just that. Now, let's begin. The philosophy of wealth, ancient and modern insights. Wealth is not a modern invention. It has existed for as long as human civilization itself, yet our understanding of it has shifted across cultures and centuries. If we look back at history, we see that the wealthiest societies were not simply those with the most gold, but those that understood how to create, distribute, and sustain prosperity. True wealth, whether individual or societal, has always been about more than just money. It has been about value, wisdom, and innovation. Aristotle spoke of eudaimonia, a Greek word that doesn't translate directly into English, but essentially means flourishing. To Aristotle, Wealth was not simply about material gain, but about achieving a state of complete well-being, one in which a person lived virtuously, contributed meaningfully to society, and continuously cultivated wisdom. He did not view money as evil, nor did he see it as the ultimate goal. Instead, he saw it as a tool, something that could enable a person to live a more fulfilled and impactful life when used wisely. Confucius had a different but equally profound perspective. He emphasized harmony, not just within oneself, but within society. In his teachings, wealth was not inherently good or bad. It was simply an element of life that had to be balanced with moral integrity and communal responsibility. He believed that a truly prosperous life required both internal and external wealth, a sense of inner peace and wisdom, alongside material success that benefited not just oneself, but others. But what about the modern world? Today, wealth is often seen as something to be pursued relentlessly, something that comes from competition, struggle, and often at the expense of others. But is that really true? In The Prosperity Paradox, Clayton Christensen challenges this idea by showing how wealth is not a limited resource. It is created. Throughout history, societies that focused on innovation and problem-solving rather than mere accumulation of wealth have flourished. Wealth is not something we must fight over. It is something we must build. Take the Renaissance, for example. Europe's transformation was not simply about economic growth, it was about new ways of thinking. It was a time of rediscovery, of questioning old beliefs, and of seeking new opportunities. Similarly, in the 20th century, the technology boom did not simply redistribute wealth, it created entirely new industries that never existed before. The wealthiest individuals in history were not those who hoarded resources, but those who found ways to expand what was possible.
This raises an important question. If wealth can be created, why do so many people struggle financially? The answer lies in perception. Many people still operate with a scarcity mindset, believing that money is limited, that wealth belongs only to a select few, and that success is a game of luck. But history shows us the opposite. Those who thrive are not simply those who work hard, but those who think differently about wealth.
This is where ancient philosophy meets modern psychology. The subconscious mind plays a powerful role in shaping financial reality. If a person believes, deep down, that money is evil, that wealth is difficult to attain, or that financial success is only for the privileged, their actions will reflect those beliefs. This is why Carl Jung's concept of the shadow self is so crucial in understanding wealth. The shadow self consists of all the hidden fears, traumas, and subconscious beliefs that shape our reality without us even realizing it. If someone subconsciously associates wealth with greed, corruption, or struggle, they will unknowingly sabotage their own financial success.
This is why changing the way we think about wealth is so important. Money itself is neutral. It is neither good nor bad. What matters is how we use it, how we perceive it, and how we align ourselves with the principles of prosperity.
Throughout history, those who truly mastered wealth understood one simple truth. Prosperity is a mindset before it is a reality. If you wish to change your financial reality, you must first change the way you think about money, success, and abundance. You must see wealth not as something to chase, but as something to create. Not as something that exists outside of you, but as something that begins within you. And that is exactly what we are about to explore next. Rewriting the narrative of wealth. If wealth is something we can create, why do so many of us struggle with it? Why do some people seem to attract financial success effortlessly, while others work tirelessly yet never seem to get ahead? The answer lies in the stories we tell ourselves, the deep-seated beliefs and narratives that shape our reality. Carl Jung believed that the human mind is governed by the subconscious, a vast reservoir of thoughts, fears, and hidden assumptions that operate beneath our conscious awareness. Within this subconscious lies the shadow self, the parts of us that we do not fully understand, yet which influence every decision we make. And for many people, this shadow self holds negative or limiting beliefs about wealth. Think back to your childhood. What did you hear about money growing up? Were you told that money doesn't grow on trees, that rich people are greedy, or that you have to work twice as hard just to survive? These statements may have seemed harmless at the time, but they were planting subconscious beliefs, beliefs that can shape financial reality for years, even decades. Helen Keller's life is a powerful example of how rewriting one's internal narrative can completely transform reality. Born blind and deaf, she was trapped in a world of silence and darkness. If she had accepted the limitations imposed on her by society, she would have never gone on to become a renowned author, activist, and speaker. But she did not accept those limitations. Instead, she learned to reinterpret her reality, to see beyond what others thought was possible. She quite literally rewrote her own life script. And that is exactly what you must do with wealth. Most people operate within a financial script that has been handed to them by their parents, society, and personal experiences. They accept these beliefs without questioning them, never realizing that they are not absolute truths. They are simply perspectives. Imagine someone who grew up in a family that constantly struggled financially. They might have internalized the belief that money is always scarce, that wealth is difficult to attain, or that financial success requires extreme sacrifice. Even if opportunities for wealth creation present themselves, this person might unconsciously reject them because their internal script does not support the idea of effortless abundance. Now compare that to someone raised in an environment where wealth was seen as natural, abundant, and accessible. This person will likely approach financial decisions with confidence and ease because their subconscious is aligned with prosperity. The key to financial transformation lies in identifying and rewriting your wealth script. This requires deep self-awareness, examining the fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs that may be holding you back. Ask yourself,
What do I truly believe about wealth?
do I see money as something scarce or abundant? Do I believe I am worthy of financial success? What unconscious fears do I have about wealth? The moment you begin to question these beliefs, you take the first step toward rewriting your financial reality. Because the truth is, wealth is not something external. It is something you create from within. It is not determined by your past, your circumstances, or even the economy. It is determined by your mindset, your energy, and your willingness to align with the principles of prosperity. And as we continue this journey, we will uncover the deeper truths about wealth, truths that go beyond money and into the very essence of who you are. Wealth as a state of being.
If wealth is not just about money, then what is it? This is where we begin to see wealth not as an external pursuit, but as an internal state of being. True prosperity is not something you chase. It is something you become. It is a way of thinking, a way of perceiving, and ultimately, a way of existing in the world.
Eckhart Tolle speaks about presence, the ability to live in the now, free from the mental noise that creates fear, anxiety, and scarcity. He argues that most people are either trapped in the past, regretting missed opportunities, or lost in the future, worrying about what's to come. But wealth, true wealth, can only be experienced in the present moment. Think about it. If you constantly fear losing money, do you really feel wealthy? If you're always anxious about making more, are you truly prosperous? The mystics of Sufism understood this deeply. They spoke of detachment, not in the sense of rejecting material wealth, but in freeing oneself from the fear of lack. Rumi, one of the greatest Sufi poets, once said, "Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you." This wisdom applies directly to wealth. Those who cling to money out of fear often find it slipping through their fingers, while those who approach wealth with a sense of trust and flow attract abundance effortlessly. It is no coincidence that some of the world's wealthiest individuals have an almost unshakable confidence in their ability to create and sustain wealth. It is not just their financial strategies, it is their energy, their mindset, their presence. They do not operate from a place of fear, but from a state of certainty and expansion. In The Art of Possibility, Rosamund and Benjamin Zander explore how shifting perceptions can create entirely new realities. They argue that most people live within self-imposed limitations, mental frameworks that define what is possible and what is impossible. But the truth is, possibility is not something that exists outside of us. It is something we allow or block based on our own perceptions. If you believe that financial success is possible for you, you will begin to see opportunities where none appeared before. If you believe that wealth is difficult and out of reach, even the best opportunities will seem invisible. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, understood this well. He believed that every obstacle contains within it the seeds of opportunity. He wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that even financial setbacks, failures, and struggles are not roadblocks. They are stepping stones, waiting to be reframed. This is why some people, when faced with failure, grow richer, while others sink deeper into poverty. The difference is not the event itself, but the mindset with which they approach it. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he created. J.K. Rowling was rejected by dozens of publishers before becoming one of the best-selling authors in history. None of these individuals were immune to failure, but they all shared one thing: a mindset that turned obstacles into opportunities. David Schwartz, in The Magic of Thinking Big, argues that success is not about intelligence, background, or resources. It is about the size of your thinking. If you think small, you create a small reality. If you think expansively, your world expands. Your financial reality is a reflection of the thoughts you consistently entertain. So ask yourself, do you see wealth as something difficult and rare? Or do you see it as something natural, abundant, and accessible? Do you believe money flows easily into your life? Or do you believe you must struggle and fight for every dollar? The answers to these questions reveal more about your financial future than any business plan or investment strategy ever could. Because ultimately, wealth is not just about what you have. It is about who you are becoming.
And as we continue, we will uncover how to unlock the doors of possibility that may have been closed for too long.
Unlocking the door of possibility. Every person at some point in their life stands at a crossroads. One path leads to more of the same, repeating old patterns, living within the same limitations, and accepting life as it is. The other path leads to expansion, a life of greater possibility, success, and abundance. But the difference between these two paths is not external circumstances. It is not luck, intelligence, or even talent. It is perception. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote that we do not control what happens to us, but we control how we respond. This simple idea is one of the most powerful wealth-building principles ever known. Because the reality is, life will always present challenges. There will always be setbacks, losses, and unexpected events. But the people who master the language of wealth are those who learn to reframe these challenges, not as obstacles, but as openings. Take Walt Disney, for example. When his first company failed, he didn't see it as proof that he was unfit for success. He saw it as a lesson, an opportunity to improve, to create something greater. If he had accepted failure as permanent, there would be no Disney empire today. This ability to reframe setbacks is what separates those who succeed from those who struggle. When most people face financial hardship, they think, "Why is this happening to me?" But the wealth-minded individual thinks, What is this trying to teach me? How can I turn this into an advantage? This mindset shift alone can change everything. Because when you start seeing challenges as doorways, you begin to look for the opportunities hidden within them. And those who seek always find. David Schwartz, in The Magic of Thinking Big, emphasizes the power of expansive thinking. If you are constantly looking for small gains, you will only ever make small progress. But if you allow yourself to think bigger, to dream beyond what seems reasonable, you open the door to entirely new possibilities. Yet many people struggle with this, not because they lack intelligence or ability, but because they have been conditioned to play small. Society teaches us to be realistic, to aim for security rather than possibility. But the wealthiest, most successful people in history did not think in terms of security. They thought in terms of creation. They asked, what can I build? What can I contribute? How can I expand the world around me? The moment you start asking bigger questions, you start getting bigger answers. So here's a question for you. What if, right now, you are standing in front of a doorway you have not yet noticed? What if the very challenge you are facing today is the key to unlocking your greatest success? What if your financial struggles are not signs of failure, but signals that you are meant to expand, to shift, to grow? History shows us that wealth is created by those who embrace this perspective. The ability to turn setbacks into stepping stones is one of the greatest secrets of financial success. But the only way to master this is to practice it. So the next time life presents you with a challenge, stop and ask yourself, where is the opportunity in this? How can this be a step forward rather than a step back? Because the truth is, the doors of possibility are always open. The question is, are you willing to walk through them? And as we continue, we will explore how ethical wealth building creates not just success, but lasting fulfillment. Building the foundations, ethics and wealth. Many people assume that wealth and ethics exist at opposite ends of the spectrum, that in order to accumulate financial success, one must compromise morality. But this belief is a distortion shaped by narratives of corruption, exploitation, and greed. In reality, the most sustainable wealth, the kind that lasts across generations, is built on trust, integrity, and ethical alignment. Michael Sandel, in his works on justice and economic morality, explores the relationship between wealth and ethics, questioning whether everything should have a price. He challenges the modern tendency to treat human values, such as trust, fairness, and social responsibility, as commodities. But history proves that those who build wealth with moral integrity create legacies that extend far beyond financial success. Take, for example, businesses that thrive for centuries, not just decades. What do they have in common? A commitment to service, value, and ethics. Companies like Toyota, Tata Group, and Johnson & Johnson have stood the test of time, not merely because of profit-driven motives, but because they embedded purpose into their financial success. Their business models were not just about extracting wealth, but about creating it in a way that benefited not just shareholders, but society as a whole. Contrast this with businesses that pursued short-term profit at the expense of integrity, companies that collapsed due to unethical practices, deception, or greed. History is filled with examples of corporations that rose quickly but fell even faster because they lacked the ethical foundation required for true, lasting prosperity.
The same principle applies on an individual level. Wealth that is built dishonestly, manipulatively, or through exploitation often creates spiritual debt, even if it results in material gain. There is an energetic cost to unethical wealth. It breeds anxiety, distrust, and ultimately, a life of fear rather than freedom.
Peter Case, in The Wealth of Virtues, argues that ethical wealth is not just possible, but necessary for long-term financial success. He explores the idea that wealth, when aligned with virtues such as fairness, honesty, and contribution becomes self-sustaining. People are drawn to those they trust. Business relationships flourish when built on integrity. Money flows more easily when there is a sense of fair exchange, rather than deception or manipulation. Even ancient wisdom aligns with this understanding. The Bible speaks of righteous wealth, earned through just means and used for the betterment of others. The Quran emphasizes responsibility in financial dealings, urging fairness, generosity, and honest transactions. The Bhagavad Gita teaches detachment from greed, not the rejection of wealth, but the rejection of wealth pursued through unethical means. Ethical wealth building is not about self-sacrifice or rejecting financial success. It is about creating wealth in a way that enhances not just your life, but the lives of others. It is about seeing money as a tool for expansion, contribution, and positive impact. This is why some of the wealthiest individuals in history have been givers, not just takers. Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men of his time, dedicated much of his fortune to libraries, education, and social progress. Warren Buffett, despite his immense wealth, has pledged to donate the majority of his fortune to philanthropy. Ethical wealth is not just about having more. It is about creating more, sharing more, and elevating others along the way. So ask yourself, what is your relationship with wealth? Do you see it as something separate from your values, or do you see it as an extension of them? Do you believe that financial success and ethical integrity can coexist? Or have you been conditioned to believe that one must come at the expense of the other? The wealth you build is not just about money. It is about the energy behind it, the intention behind it, and the legacy it leaves behind. As we continue, we will explore an even deeper aspect of wealth, its connection to energy, vibration, and alignment with the unseen forces that shape prosperity. The energy of wealth, chakras, and vibrational alignment. Wealth is more than numbers. It is more than strategy. It is energy. Many ancient traditions, from Hinduism to Taoism to esoteric Christianity, have spoken of energy centers within the body, chakras, that influence different aspects of life, including prosperity. Modern science may not fully recognize these concepts, but quantum physics does suggest that everything, including money, operates at a vibrational frequency. If everything is energy, then wealth itself is not just about external effort, but about internal alignment. Anodia Judith in Wheels of Life explores the idea that blocked energy centers can manifest as financial struggles. The root chakra, for example, is connected to survival, stability, and material security. If this energy center is blocked due to past traumas, fear, or limiting beliefs about money, a person may constantly feel financially unstable, no matter how much they earn. The solar plexus chakra, linked to confidence and self-worth, directly affects a person's ability to attract and retain wealth. If someone subconsciously believes they are undeserving of financial success, they will unknowingly repel opportunities. This is why some people seem to attract money effortlessly, while others struggle despite hard work. It is not just about action. It is about alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and energy are in harmony with abundance, wealth flows naturally. When they are misaligned, when you hold on to fear, doubt, or guilt, financial success becomes an uphill battle. Sound healing and vibrational therapy have been used for centuries to clear these energetic blockages. Many spiritual traditions use mantras, frequencies, and meditative practices to shift consciousness and remove the energetic barriers to abundance. Even modern neuroscience acknowledges that the brain operates at different frequencies, and that shifting these frequencies can impact perception, mood, and decision-making, all of which influence financial reality. This is why some of the most successful people in history have spoken about intuitive decision-making, gut instincts, and following energy flows. Steve Jobs often credited his greatest business moves to intuition, not just logic. Many great investors speak of a feeling about an opportunity before making major financial moves. This is not coincidence. This is the energetic aspect of wealth at play. So how can you begin aligning with wealth on an energetic level? The first step is awareness. Ask yourself, do I feel anxious when I think about money? Do I associate wealth with struggle, or do I see it as something natural and effortless? Do I feel worthy of abundance, or do I unconsciously push it away?
These questions reveal your energetic state regarding wealth, and once you become aware, you can begin to shift. Practices like meditation, visualization, affirmations, and sound therapy can help clear negative energy patterns and replace them with vibrations of abundance.
Wealth is not just about what you do, it is about who you are being. When you embody abundance on an energetic level, opportunities begin to show up, doors begin to open, and financial success flows with far less resistance. As we continue, we will explore how societal structures influence personal wealth and how understanding these systems can help you navigate the financial world with greater clarity and power. Social structures and the pursuit of abundance. We often think of wealth as an individual pursuit, a matter of mindset, habits, and personal decisions. But wealth does not exist in a vacuum. It is shaped by the social structures, institutions, and systems that govern our world. The opportunities available to you, the financial choices you can make, and even the way you perceive money are influenced by the economic environment you were born into. David Graeber, in Debt the First 5,000 Years, explores how money, debt, and financial power have shaped civilizations for millennia. He argues that wealth is not just about accumulation. It is about systems of exchange, social contracts, and the historical relationships between power and money. If you look at history, you will find that financial inequality has never been purely about individual effort. It has always been tied to who controls resources, who sets the rules, and how wealth is distributed across society. This is why some people, no matter how hard they work, seem to struggle financially, while others, born into privilege, have access to resources, education, and networks that accelerate their success. This is not to say that wealth cannot be built from the ground up. It absolutely can. But to do so effectively, one must understand the financial systems at play. Cornel West, in his Critiques of Social Inequalities, speaks about how economic barriers shape individual lives. He argues that poverty is not just a result of bad choices, but of structural limitations, access to quality education, financial literacy, banking systems, and investment opportunities. Many people never reach financial success, not because they lack intelligence or ambition, but because they were never given the tools to navigate wealth creation. This is why financial education is one of the greatest investments you can make in yourself. The wealthy do not just think differently, they understand the system differently. They know how to use tax structures to their advantage, how to leverage debt rather than be enslaved by it, how to turn money into an asset rather than a liability. The middle class is often caught in a cycle of earning and spending, while the wealthy operate in a system of investing and multiplying. Understanding these dynamics allows you to work with the system rather than against it. Instead of merely chasing a paycheck, you start thinking about ownership, equity, and long-term wealth strategies. Instead of seeing money as something you have to work for, you begin to see it as something that can work for you. But beyond personal financial success, there is also a deeper question. How can we reshape social structures to create more widespread abundance? If wealth is hoarded by a few, while others struggle to meet basic needs, is that true prosperity? Or is real wealth about creating a world where more people have access to opportunities, resources, and financial security? This is where ethical wealth building comes back into focus. Those who understand the system and use it not just for personal gain, but for societal improvement, leave behind legacies that are remembered for generations. This is why the greatest entrepreneurs, investors, and leaders are not just focused on making money. They are focused on creating systems that uplift others. As we move forward, we will explore how to take all of these insights, mindset, ethics, energy, and structural awareness, and turn them into practical daily habits that create long-term financial success. Taking action, habits for financial success. All the knowledge in the world is meaningless without action. Understanding wealth mindset, energy alignment, and economic structures is powerful. But unless these insights translate into daily habits, they will remain ideas rather than realities. James Clear in Atomic Habits explains that success is not built on single moments of transformation. It is built on small, consistent actions that compound over time. Wealth is no different. Financial abundance is not a one-time event. It is a series of daily decisions, repeated consistently, that shape your financial future. Take, for example, the habit of saving and investing. Many people wait until they have a large income before they start thinking about wealth accumulation. But the truth is, wealth is not about how much you earn. It is about how much you keep and grow. Even a small percentage of income invested consistently can turn into a substantial fortune over time. The power of compounding is one of the greatest financial forces in existence. Consider the story of Kevin, a man who started investing just $100 a month at the age of 25. By the time he was 55, his portfolio had grown into millions, not because he made massive investments, but because he was consistent and disciplined. Meanwhile, his friend, who waited until he was 40 to start investing, struggled to catch up, even though he invested larger sums later on. This is why financial habits matter more than financial windfalls. Winning the lottery does not make someone wealthy. Having wealth habits does. Some of the most impactful habits for financial success include automatic investing, setting aside a portion of income every month for stocks, real estate, or business investments. Continuous learning, reading books, studying financial strategies, and staying educated on wealth-building principles.
Mindful spending, avoiding unnecessary consumerism, and focusing on purchases that generate value rather than just short-term pleasure.
Surrounding yourself with financial mentors and networks, learning from those who have already mastered wealth creation. These habits, when practiced daily, create momentum. And once momentum is in motion, wealth stops feeling like an uphill battle and starts feeling like a natural flow. But perhaps the most important habit of all is resilience, the ability to stay committed to your financial goals even in the face of setbacks. Because wealth building is not a straight line, it is a journey of ups and downs, successes and failures. And that is exactly what we will explore next, the power of resilience in multiplying wealth. Resilience, the wealth multiplier. If there is one characteristic that separates those who succeed financially from those who do not, it is resilience. Every successful entrepreneur, investor, or creator has faced failure. But what makes them different is their ability to rise again, learn from setbacks, and keep moving forward. J.K. Rowling, before becoming one of the most successful authors in history, was rejected by multiple publishers. Many would have taken that as a sign to give up. Instead, she persisted. Today, her wealth is not just financial. It is the result of her unwavering belief in her vision.
Brené Brown, in Rising Strong, explores the psychology of bouncing back from setbacks. She argues that the ability to reframe failure is one of the most powerful tools a person can develop. Instead of seeing failure as proof of inadequacy, successful people see it as feedback, refinement, and necessary growth.
The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, faced with countless political and military challenges, wrote extensively about the power of acceptance, adaptation, and perseverance. He believed that obstacles were not things to be feared, but teachers that strengthened the soul. Financial resilience is no different. Economic downturns, business failures, and investment losses are inevitable at some point. But the difference between those who build lasting wealth and those who do not is their ability to adapt, learn, and keep going. Some practical ways to build financial resilience include
diversifying income sources, not relying on a single job or investment, but having multiple streams of income.
Emergency financial planning, having reserves that provide stability during uncertain times. Emotional mastery, developing the ability to stay calm and strategic even when faced with financial difficulties. The wealthiest individuals in history were not those who avoided failure. They were those who embraced failure as part of the process. They understood that every setback, if approached correctly, contained the seeds of even greater success. And as we continue, we will explore another essential element of wealth building, the power of relationships and connections in financial success. The power of connection. Wealth is often viewed as an individual pursuit. A person works hard, makes smart investments, and builds financial success. But the truth is, no one creates wealth alone. Every great success story is intertwined with relationships, partnerships, and communities. The wealthiest people in history did not just have financial intelligence, they had social intelligence. They understood that true abundance is built through collaboration, not isolation. Think about the story of Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Jobs had vision, marketing genius, and an instinct for innovation. Wozniak had technical brilliance, an engineer's mind, and the ability to build revolutionary products. Separately, they were talented individuals. Together, they built Apple, a company that reshaped the world. This principle extends beyond business partnerships. Every billionaire, entrepreneur, or financially successful person has been influenced by mentors, advisors, and networks of like-minded individuals. The people you surround yourself with shape your beliefs, decisions, and ultimately, your financial reality. If you spend time with those who see money as scarce and difficult, you will subconsciously adopt that mindset. But if you engage with people who think expansively, who see opportunities, investments, and wealth creation as natural, you will begin to absorb that way of thinking. Bob Burg and John David Mann in The Go-Giver emphasize the philosophy of giving as a pathway to receiving. They argue that the most successful individuals do not just take value from the world, they create and share value freely. When you approach business, career, and finance with a mindset of contribution rather than mere accumulation, opportunities expand. This is why some of the wealthiest and most influential figures are also some of the most generous with their time, knowledge, and resources.
But building meaningful connections is not about networking in a transactional way. It is about authenticity, trust, and shared growth. The strongest financial and business relationships are built on mutual respect and long-term vision, not just short-term gain.
One of the best ways to cultivate wealth-building relationships is through mentorship. Every great leader had teachers who guided them. Warren Buffett had Benjamin Graham. Elon Musk studied the works of Nikola Tesla. The idea that we must figure everything out on our own is a myth. Learning from those who have already walked the path shortens the journey. So ask yourself, who are you learning from? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you engaging with people who expand your thinking or those who reinforce limitations? Wealth is not just a matter of numbers. It is a network of value, knowledge, and collaboration. And those who understand this principle never walk the path alone. As we move forward, we will explore two of the most powerful forces that amplify wealth: gratitude and generosity. Gratitude and generosity, catalysts for abundance. There is a paradox at the heart of wealth. Those who give freely tend to receive more, while those who cling tightly to what they have often find themselves in scarcity. This is not just a spiritual idea, it is a psychological and economic reality. Maya Angelou once said, "When you learn, teach; when you get, give." This principle applies directly to financial success. The wealthiest people in history have not just accumulated wealth, they have circulated it. Whether through philanthropy, investment in others, or creating opportunities, they understand that money is meant to flow, not stagnate. Neuroscience backs this up. Studies show that gratitude rewires the brain for greater happiness, resilience, and decision-making clarity. When a person cultivates a mindset of gratitude, they shift from scarcity thinking to abundance thinking. This shift influences financial choices, risk-taking, and even the ability to recognize opportunities. The power of generosity goes beyond just giving money. It includes sharing knowledge. Teaching others what you have learned accelerates your own growth. Creating opportunities, investing in people, businesses, and ideas that uplift others. Time and mentorship, offering guidance to those who are walking the path behind you. One of the most profound examples of generosity is seen in Andrew Carnegie. After building immense wealth in the steel industry, he devoted much of his fortune to creating libraries, educational institutions, and social programs that helped millions. His legacy is not just in the money he made, but in the lives he transformed. In The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein, a simple yet powerful lesson is revealed. True fulfillment does not come from hoarding wealth, but from using it in a way that creates lasting value.
But generosity is not just about external giving. It is also about internal abundance. If you believe that wealth is limited, you will hesitate to give, fearing that you might not have enough. But when you understand that wealth is an ever-expanding force, generosity becomes natural.
Gratitude and generosity are not just moral virtues, they are practical tools for financial expansion. They shift your mindset, elevate your decision-making, and create networks of trust and opportunity that multiply wealth over time.
And as we continue, we will explore another key to long-term financial success: adaptability in an ever-changing world.
Adaptability, thriving in uncertainty.
If there is one constant in life, it is change. Economies rise and fall. Technologies disrupt entire industries. Careers that once seemed secure can become obsolete overnight. Those who succeed financially are not necessarily the most educated, the most talented, or even the hardest working. They are the ones who adapt. They are the ones who recognize that wealth is not a fixed destination, but an evolving journey that requires continuous learning, flexibility, and the ability to navigate uncertainty with confidence.
Yet many people resist change. They cling to old financial habits, outdated career paths, and past ways of thinking, hoping that what worked yesterday will still work tomorrow. But history has shown that those who fail to evolve eventually get left behind. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is often misquoted as survival of the fittest. In reality, his research suggested that it is not the strongest or the smartest who survive, but those who are most adaptable to change. This principle applies directly to wealth. Some of the wealthiest individuals in history did not achieve success by sticking to what was comfortable. They saw change as an opportunity rather than a threat. When the world shifted, they shifted with it, sometimes ahead of it. Take the case of Jeff Bezos. Before founding Amazon, he was a Wall Street executive. He saw the potential of the internet long before most people recognized its impact. He didn't wait for certainty. He moved into the unknown and built what would become one of the most powerful companies in history. Similarly, Elon Musk continuously reinvents himself, moving from software to electric vehicles to space exploration to artificial intelligence, always anticipating the next wave of transformation. But adaptability is not just for billionaires and entrepreneurs. It is a skill that anyone can cultivate. It is about shifting your mindset from fear of change to embracing uncertainty as a doorway to new possibilities. Nassim Nicholas Taleb in Anti-Fragile explores a powerful concept. Some systems break under pressure, while others actually become stronger when faced with challenges. The wealthiest and most successful people are not just resilient, they are anti-fragile. They use setbacks, failures, and uncertainty to their advantage, allowing each challenge to refine their strategy and sharpen their instincts. Consider the 2008 financial crisis. While millions suffered devastating losses, others saw it as an opportunity. Investors who understood market cycles bought assets at low prices, knowing that downturns are temporary. Entrepreneurs who lost jobs reinvented themselves, launching businesses that thrived in the post-crisis economy. Those who panicked and froze in fear struggled, while those who adapted came out stronger. So how can you become financially adaptable? First, develop multiple income streams. Relying on a single paycheck, a single investment, or a single source of wealth is dangerous in an unpredictable world. Look at the wealthiest individuals. They diversify. They invest in different industries. They create multiple sources of cash flow. Even if one stream is disrupted, others keep them financially strong. Second, commit to lifelong learning. The financial world is always changing. New investment strategies emerge. Markets shift. Technology reshapes industries. Those who stay curious and informed position themselves ahead of the curve. Third, master emotional agility. Adaptability is not just about strategy, it is about how you respond to uncertainty emotionally. Fear, panic, and hesitation can sabotage even the best financial plans. But if you train yourself to see challenges as opportunities, you will begin to find solutions that others overlook. Take Nelson Mandela's story. He was imprisoned for 27 years. Many would have given up, but he used that time to prepare himself mentally and strategically. When he was finally released, he was ready to lead South Africa into a new era. He didn't resist the changing world. He became the force that shaped it. This is the mindset of true financial masters. They do not cling to outdated models of success. They flow with change, anticipate shifts, and reinvent themselves whenever necessary. The question is, will you resist change and remain stuck? Or will you embrace it, evolve, and open yourself to new financial possibilities? Because the future will not wait. Wealth belongs to those who are brave enough to move forward, even when the path is uncertain. And now, as we reach the final part of this journey, let's bring everything together so you can begin writing your own wealth story. Embracing your wealth story. Every person has a story about wealth. For some, it is a story of struggle, of scarcity, financial hardship, and missed opportunities. For others, it is a story of growth, of learning, evolving, and stepping into abundance. The question is, what story will you choose to tell moving forward? Søren Kierkegaard once said, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." As you look back on everything you have learned in this journey, you may begin to see patterns, beliefs you once held about money, habits that shaped your financial reality, decisions that led you to where you are today. But no matter what your past wealth story has been, you now have the power to write a new one. Wealth is not just about how much money you make. It is about how you think, act, and align yourself with abundance. It is about embracing the timeless principles that have shaped the greatest financial minds in history. It is about blending ancient wisdom with modern strategies, integrating philosophy, psychology, and practical action to create a life of true prosperity. Think of all the lessons you have gathered. Aristotle's eudaimonia, the idea that wealth is not just material, but a state of human flourishing. Carl Jung's shadow work, revealing the hidden beliefs that shape financial reality.
Eckhart Tolle's presence, teaching that wealth begins with your state of mind.
Marcus Aurelius's Stoicism, reminding us that every obstacle contains an opportunity. The wisdom of the Sufis, who understood that true wealth comes from detachment from fear and alignment with flow. The modern financial strategies from books like Atomic Habits, The Prosperity Paradox, and The Magic of Thinking Big, which show that success is built on small, consistent actions over time. This is not just knowledge, it is the blueprint for an entirely new way of living. So what will your wealth story be? Will you continue to see money as something to struggle for? Or will you embrace it as a natural extension of who you are? Will you let old financial fears control you? Or will you rewrite your subconscious beliefs and step into abundance? Will you chase money blindly? Or will you align your wealth with ethics, purpose, and meaningful contribution?
This is your invitation to redefine your financial destiny, to no longer operate from a place of fear, scarcity, or limitation, to step fully into the energy of abundance, opportunity, and mastery.
Because wealth is not something external. It is something within you. It is something you become. As you move forward, remember this. Wealth is not just about accumulation. It is about expansion, expanding your mind, your possibilities, and the impact you have on the world. You have the tools, you have the insights, you have the power. Now it is time to write your wealth story. Make it extraordinary.